Hey guys, Lee from Florida Coyote Control here. Headed to a piece of property in Polk City tonight. It's not a very big piece of property, but it's kind of cool. A couple hundred acres. It's got an old abandoned farmhouse on it and some old equipment, which makes it nice for setting up out of the ordinary stands. I shot a big coyote last year off the top of this big excavator. And, the smell of that old diesel fuel and that old equipment really helps hide the human odor. So I'm looking forward to that tonight. Wish me luck. Talk to you soon. Well, here's the property. It's a couple hundred acres, and as you can see, there's a slough right in front of me, and there's some woods on the backside that I know always holds coyotes. I have my collar right up against that slough underneath the edge of that willow tree, and there's my rifle on the tripod, and in the background there's some equipment, an old abandoned farmhouse, and then I'm kind of sitting on the edge of a fenced-in area where they have some old equipment and chemical barrels and a big diesel tank stored. And it really does stink to high heaven, but it's good for, masking human scent. So I'm blowing out some howls right now, some lonesome howls and some female invitation. And then I hit the group howl, the yipping. And I hear something barking behind me. And there's a coyote working its way up behind me, and she can't smell me, even though she's straight downwind of me. She can't smell me because of that, all those chemicals. So she's working her way up right next to the fence, sitting where I'm at. And I took the shot. She's 30 yards away.
Gotcha.
Oh, that was just great. It wasn't a very long trip. I was out there a couple hours. I don't know if you were able to make it out, but that coyote came in behind me. The first one came in from behind me, downwind of me. And I had that collar between me and the slough, right up against the slough, expecting the coyotes to come from the woods that were behind the slough, expecting them to come downwind of the slough and then back up to my collar. And of course I was perfectly crosswind and I'd be able to intersect them right there. But this one comes from behind me, and actually I think it came from on the other side of the interstate, crossed the interstate, and then worked its way up the pasture right next to me in the fence. But it couldn't smell me because of all those chemicals and that old diesel fuel. It's a really old diesel fuel tank there that's half full of old rotten diesel fuel. I mean, trust me, it stinks. And then the second one you saw me take, I was actually playing with some hog in distress call, trying to get these two hogs to come in, to see if these two hogs would come to the sound of the distress calls, because I've never called a hog in before. And I'm playing with, I think the sound effects was called Little Piggy, and I had it on just full blast, seeing if they would come in. And they came part of the way, and then they just kind of slid down into that slough where they're probably sleeping it off. And I just happened to glance over, and there's a coyote standing right there, looking towards the collar, looking at me, looking at the collar, looking at me. So he starts to trot away, and I went ahead and took him, and I kind of gut shot him at first, and he just kind of staggered a little bit. And the second shot you see, and if you watch, you hear the shot, and then you hear the bullet hit, and that's that 50 grain Nosler, 22 Nosler, and it really just took out his whole hind end. It was really gory, really bloody mess, and he laid down, as you can see, and I stopped the video, but then he started picking his head up again, trying to crawl. So I took one more shot, and I really just took the whole side of his head off, and I spared you the visuals on that one. But it was a great hunt. I had a great time. I hope you guys had a good time tonight, and we'll see you next time. Lee from Florida Coyote Control. Bye now.